Hello and welcome to Talk to Downtown. My name is Courtney Wood. I'm the Economic Development Director for the Downtown Stockton Alliance, the 501c6 nonprofit property-based business improvement district serving downtown Stockton. This series is intended to connect our business owners, property owners, visitors, and residents with the organizations, people, and resources which impact our community. Today we have special guest Angelina Abella. She is a senior analyst for the City of Stockton Economic Development Department. And we're going to talk all about Stockton Small Business Week 2025 today. So welcome, Angelina. Thank you for being our guest. We're going to begin by having Angelina share a little bit about her background and how it led for her to her working with the City of Stockton. Then I'm going to go through a list of questions I've outlined for her. And at the end, we will open it up for viewer questions. So if you do have any questions, please type them in as a comment and we will get to it towards the end of the live. With that, welcome, Angelina. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to work for the City of Stockton.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Angelina Abella. I actually am now the Business Incentive and Outreach Manager for the Economic Development Department. New title, but yeah. Excited to be here. So a little bit about myself. I grew up in the Bay Area, went to Sac State, got a bachelor's in economics. Had no idea what that meant in terms of a career. But when I graduated, moved back to my hometown, and while I was trying to find a job, I decided I would just volunteer at City Hall. So I ended up getting some exposure in different departments, and you know, thankfully, one of the staff in one of those departments, she's like, "Oh, well, there's an opening in economic development. Maybe you should check it out." I was not familiar with local government at all. I had no idea what economic development was, what they did. Honestly, I probably owe my career to her, but yeah, so I went over to the economic development department over there and just really learned a lot and had a lot of fun. Um, economic development's it's really different, I think, than what other departments mostly do. Um, I feel like we kind of look at the community in a holistic perspective, like how can we ensure that our community members have a sustainable community, right? Like so that they're able to support themselves, so that they're able to go out and support their families, get goods and services, and just have a good quality of life. And so having that like perspective of how do we help businesses, but making sure that it benefits our community, it was just a different perspective, I think, for me, and it just really it just drew me in. um, so I was working there for maybe about almost 5 years as someone who was like, I'm never going back to school after getting my bachelor's. um, Being in the local government economic development space, like I was just like, I think school, got into San Jose State University's MPA program, Master's in Public Administration, and then got a job offer here at the City of Stockton. And so things kind of just aligned. My husband, he was born and raised here. Um, at that point, I was familiar with the community already, thankfully. Um, and so it just kind of was just like a natural, everything just kind of fell into place. And so um, coming into this role and, being in economic development, I've been here for almost 7 years now, and it's never boring. um, there's great people here, and yeah, just excited to continue growing and learning here.
Awesome. So it seems like all the roads led to economic development right here in
Yeah,
the City of Stockton.
for sure.
Wonderful. So can you now tell us all about Stockton Small Business Week 2025? Why do we have Stockton Small Business Week? How long ago did it start, and why is it so important for our city?
Yeah. So Stockton Small Business Week, it's it kind of follows or models, I guess, National Small Business Week. It's been, I believe, at the national level, they've been doing it for maybe like 50 years at least, or 60. Um, but it was to kind of recognize the contribution of small businesses to the American economy. And I think, like, especially for a place like Stockton, we have tons of small businesses here. Like, really, they are the backbone of our community. And so when things were happening in 2020, I think everyone was trying to figure it out, like the government side, but also the private side and the local business side. And here in our department, we were like, what can we do to help our businesses? There are a lot of great organizations out there, a lot of great business service organizations who we like our jobs are to help these small businesses. So it was like, okay, what can we do to kind of rally together to share the resources that we have to support small businesses? So yeah, it really kind of just was like, well, there's this national effort going on. Let's kind of build upon that. Let's get our partners together and let's maybe host some webinars about the resources that each of our orgs have. And so that's kind of where it started. And so, of course, over the years, it's like it's kind of grown. Now, for this year, we just held, I think our third ribbon cutting at the steps of City Hall, kind of like, an unofficial, I mean, kind of a ceremonial ribbon cutting to kick off the week. But in that, we also recognize 6 local legacy businesses because, these are businesses who've been here for at least like 15 years. They've, you know, pretty much weathered the storm and made it through the pandemic and everything. And so we wanted to also honor them. Um, but we got together too with our orgs, like, DSA was there. We had folks, from the chambers, from SBDC. So all of these business service orgs also came together to kind of kick off together. And so um, that's kind of what we do throughout the week and just hosting workshops, webinars, and then yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. So it's a way to really highlight the resources available in our community and to our community of small businesses.
Right.
Wonderful. And this year, can you tell us about the businesses that were honored at the ribbon cutting?
Oh yeah. So this year, our 6 businesses, we had Cosmos Burgers. They're off of MLK. They've been open, I believe, since 1977. He started like in a small 8x8 stand and just grew into really like a staple in that corridor. Kids go there all the time after school, but yeah, he's been here for I think almost 50 years at this point. Um, we also have Dave Wong's too. They've also been around for almost 50 years. Tandoori Nights up off of Kelly Drive. They have been in business for about over 30 years. Um, Nena's Mexican cuisine, of course, and then Crab Zone, which is off of Hammer. They've been here for about 17 years. And then we also recognized Dr. Kui Ki. He's a dentist up off of Thornton. And so I believe he started in 96. And so we just, we worked with the chambers to kind of get some nominations, but also looked at business license information, making sure that these businesses have a storefront. All businesses are important, of course, but we did want to make sure that we recognize businesses that are, that are employing local people, creating jobs, things like that. And so those were our 6 for this year.
Awesome. We have a picture up here of Nena's, getting honored. It's just wonderful to see these small businesses thriving and that they were able to get recognized, for all the time that they've spent here in our community.
Yeah, they also gave their own little speeches too, and it was nice because that's really what it was about. It was about them, and so each of them even gave a speech about, kind of their journey. They were like, "Let's support each other. I love Stockton," things like that. So it was a really good experience.
Definitely. So, what kind of events and workshops can businesses expect this year? So, we're in the middle of the week, but there are still events left. Tell us, what resource events are coming up?
Um, well, happening right now, there's actually an Access to Capital Summit at with SBDC. It's at WorkNet. So it's a really good event. It's in person, but they are planning to have some lenders there. So if you're looking for a business loan or to apply for a business loan, they are going to have the lenders there, and they could kind of speak to like what they're looking for, um, in kind of assessing, applicants. Later today, Caltrans and Cal OSBA, they're having a webinar, basic tips that small businesses should know. Registration is still open. And then later at 3, Delta College is actually hosting like a live stream. It's called Pathways to Entrepreneurship, but Delta actually has a number of courses for small businesses, and these are all offered. I think most of them are like online, but they have, like accounting for small businesses, QuickBooks, marketing and advertising. So things that businesses could really use and just, that they could have in their back pocket as they kind of, operate their business. So that's later at 3. And then tonight from 4 to 6:30, Centro Community Partners, they're hosting an in-person event, funding my business. And so that, I think it's preparing to apply for a loan. So right now SBDC is like, you're ready to go out and talk to lenders. Centros is like, how do I prepare to get to that point in applying for a loan? So that's going to be in person here in downtown, 343 East Main. And then tomorrow, there's a business mixer and resource fair. It is open to anyone and everyone, but pretty much all of the orgs that are hosting an event throughout this week, we're all going to be there in person. So, if you missed one of the webinars, but you still want to talk to us, like we'll be there to answer any questions, and just an opportunity for you to like meet other aspiring business owners, or maybe you want to talk to an existing business owner and kind of just get some feedback. What are some lessons that they've learned? So it's really just meant to be a space for people to connect. That's tomorrow from 5 to 7 at the Well. And then on Friday, there is a live stream. So the Consulate General of Mexico in Sacramento, they are doing a Spanish webinar, Access to Capital. And so that's going to be live streamed on their Facebook. So we do have links to all of these on StocktonSmallBusinessWeek.com. So if you want to register or if you want to find links to the events, it's all available, StocktonSmallBusinessWeek.com.
Awesome. So there's still quite a few events coming up, and one happening now. So see if you can make it over there before noon. And it's awesome that these events are free, and it's really just about learning what's available to our small businesses and how they can take advantage of what's out there. So please, if you are a small business owner or you know one, share this information with them so that they can take advantage of it. Wonderful. So now that we've talked a little bit about Stockton Small Business Week, I want to talk more about the Economic Development Department and what you do there so that we can share resources that the city has for small businesses. So can you give us an overview of the EDD's grants, loans, programs that small businesses can benefit from?
Right now, in terms of grants and loans, we do have a few. We have our Stocked Full of Produce grant program. So that is a $15,000 grant for corner and convenience stores. And it's so that they could purchase or make, infrastructure improvements to help them sell healthier food options. This is really meant to address food insecurity in our community. And so yeah, we have a $15,000 grant. We have had past grantees, buy new refrigeration units, new shelving. Someone even had to upgrade their electrical panel to support the fridge. So we were able to help with that. But we also do work with San Joaquin Refresh San Joaquin. They come out, they'll help the business owners kind of, what's a better layout so that you could move more of this product out of your store, so kind of it's like a whole, like it's a whole program to help business owners. We also have our commercial facade improvement forgivable loan program. So that is for commercial property owners, but it is up to $20,000 per 50 feet of street facing building frontage. So you might have seen probably Price Right in downtown. It has the big lion mural. It's almost like a stained glass lion mural. um,
It's
but
pretty.
that, yeah, but that project that was funded by our forgivable loan program. We also recently had one that just finished. It's the old PG&E customer service building at
Mhm.
345 East Channel. It's kind of across from RTD. But yeah, they just completed their project. That was also funded by the loan program. And so just kind of creating these spaces, um, these aesthetic like places, but letting people know that there are businesses there. And kind of creating this like inviting space for them. And then lastly, we have a broken window grant programs. I think it's similar to yours, but basically,
Yeah.
um, it's to help with any costs from vandalism. Like if someone got their windows damaged, then we could provide up to $800 per window.
Awesome. Thank you for giving us an overview of grants and loans that are available. So we do have a link here. So if you use this URL, you can see the full list of everything Angelina is talking about. And now I want to ask, you have other resources beyond loans and grants. So can you tell us a little bit about what those are?
Oh yeah, we have quite a few. So on advantagestockton.com, which is kind of our economic development portal, so it is a separate website. Um, But on AdvantageStockton.com, we have a platform called Size Up Stockton. So basically, that platform allows you to access free local market data, um, which usually, like big box companies, they probably have access to this because they probably have someone on staff dedicated to finding data. But this is a free platform for small businesses to see kind of like what the local market average is so it could help them plan better. So I just as an example, like once you go into the platform, you could put the industry that you're in. If we put like coffee shop or something in Stockton, it'll pull up this prompt saying how much do you anticipate making in revenue? How many employees do you think you'll have? Um, how much do you plan on paying in salaries? And you could put kind of what your guesstimate is, and then it'll actually show you what the local average is. And so it's like if you wanted to open up like and hire 15 employees, but then it'll actually tell you, well, the local average is about 10. So maybe you want to scale back a little bit. So it's really a tool to help you plan. Um, and kind of, at least be competitive with what the local average is. Um, you could also find like competitors, so if you're opening a coffee shop and you had a space in mind, but next thing you know, you notice that there's like four within like a 1 block radius. It's like, okay, maybe I want to go to a different location and kind of build my brand first, build my customer base first. So that's one of the tools that we have. Again, that's free. It's on advantagestockton.com. It's called Size Up. Um, we also have a kind of like a business resource guide. So it's kind of a basic 10-step guide of like the common 10 steps. I will say each business is different. Um,
True.
but we did try to put together like a resource guide of what are the common things that you should think about as you move forward in opening a business. And we tried to provide some helpful links in there. So, and like a checklist. So feel free to check that out. That's also on the website. Um, we also had something called the Business Source Finder. So it's kind of like a huge spreadsheet, but it has resources along the top and then orgs on the side. And so basically, depending on what type of resource you need, you'll be able to find the orgs that offer those resources. Um,
Hmm.
and so that is just, a way to kind of visually see who can I contact. Um, and then last but not least, we have like an interactive version of that, which is called our entrepreneur ecosystem app. So that one, yeah, it's a more interactive one so that you could see where those orgs are located. So just in case, you want to see like who's located in downtown, um, it kind of you can visually just see where everyone is. So we have those. Those are our free resources online for small businesses.
Awesome. And I know that you are heavily involved in the entrepreneur ecosystem map, creating it, doing the research. Can you tell us about that process and what you discovered about what we have here, to help our small businesses?
Um, I think just in general, going through the process was just seeing how many resources we have, which is great. Um, so it was kind of exciting being able to putting it together, because also we worked with everybody with all these orgs and talked a little bit more about what services they provide. I feel like a lot of us kind of know each other in terms of the business service orgs, um, but really like sitting down and understanding what type of services each org provides and then putting it in paper. Um, I don't know. I feel like we were able to put, I don't know, just look at it from, just like a bigger perspective. Because the thing too is we also kind of broke it down into like, okay, are your services better for a startup, or if it's an existing business and looking to grow, or is it all levels of businesses? And so kind of trying to lay it out in a way that was easily digestible for everybody. It was a fun process. Um, but yeah, we were able to share that with all of our orgs too, so that they could have that. It's also available in Spanish. And then we definitely use that to create the interactive map. So, um, it's forever evolving. But yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it's such a useful tool. So if you are thinking of starting a business, or maybe you have an idea, or if you are in business now, this is such a good resource for you. It really lays out all the organizations that are here that can help you at any stage of your business. So check it out. I highly suggest that you do. So thanks, Angelina. And can you tell us, are there any new resources or programs that we can expect from the Economic Development Department anytime soon?
Um, I have some in mind, but I don't,
Okay,
I
tell
don't
us.
know if I can speak on it yet.
Okay,
But we are like always listening, um, and trying to hear like what are some of the hurdles that businesses are going through, like small businesses, also, like developers and things like that. So we are constantly listening and seeing how are ways that we can help. So we have a couple things I think that we would like to launch, but nothing I could publicly say yet. But hopefully soon.
okay. Just let us know first.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so we'll look forward to what those might be in the future. And now, can you tell us? I want to talk about the small businesses community here. So, can you tell us how many small businesses are in the city of Stockton?
I believe so. I know that there's more than 8,000 business licenses for sure in the city.
Wow.
And I believe that over 80% have less than 10 employees. So that's where it's like, Small Business Week was like this. Our small business community here in Stockton, they really are like the backbone of our community. Um, they're the ones that are, they're raising their families here. They're offering jobs to other residents here to support their families. Um, and it's like, so we're reinvesting our dollars back into the community, to the people, to our neighbors. And so yeah, we have quite a few businesses here. I think people might be surprised too. We have our fair share of chains and franchises, but um, I would say a large part of our community is locally owned small businesses.
Awesome. And what's something that you think people they might be surprised to learn about our small business community?
Yeah, I do think it's the size. Just it's just the sheer number, I think, of small businesses. We're such a big community, and so I don't know. I think especially too, we have a long history. Um, I think a lot of like newer communities, they do have, again, like kind of those like franchises or whatever. And so like of course we have those, but we have a really strong, I feel, small business community. Like, again, with the small businesses that we honored, like on Monday, those have been around for like 50 years. There's more too that have been around for like 70 plus years in our community. Um, last
So
year
cool.
I think yeah, like last year we honored Louis Market here in downtown, and they've been around, oh my God, like is it since the 40s, I think?
Yes, I believe so. We were just doing a campaign for them.
Oh yeah.
I think it is, I believe, around 80 years. So
Yeah.
it's
And
awesome.
so I think it's just, one of the projects that I did a few years ago. We had this small business video. Actually, it's pretty cool. You should watch it. It's on our YouTube, by the way. It's called Stockton
Okay.
Small Business Community, but that video, it's like we actually interviewed local businesses to talk about their journey. We had some that were just starting up, but then also some like even Genova's where we asked them like what is it about Stockton? Why do you continue to like do business here and call it your home? Like we could say as much as we want, but they're the ones who are doing this every day. And so, yeah, we had these businesses really talk about what it meant to be in Stockton. And so, um, I think just in general, people would be surprised that we have, yeah, a lot of small businesses, but also like we have a very supportive community. Like, having these businesses for decades, for generations, it's because we support each other. So,
Yeah, it's just great to see establishments like that, and you kind of hope that people who have started in the last 5 years or so, you can only hope that they'll be one of those, 80
yeah,
years from now. That would be so cool to see them survive that long.
exactly.
So, for anyone who's looking to start a small business in Stockton, what resource would you recommend to them?
Um, I mean, I would definitely say to check out the Advantage Stockton platform, only because you could kind of pick and choose. Like Size Up is great for data, um, but the resource map and the source finder, at least that can list out the different orgs um, that provide services. But I would also say just make connections. You don't have to stick with one org. All of us have our own expertise. Each org, does specific things, and we focus on, it's like we might provide, like we provide some grants, but there's also orgs that provide other, like funding mechanisms for businesses. And so it's like, just feel free to just, talk to different people, talk to different orgs, make connections. Because again, yeah, we're a very supportive community. But yeah, I would say just reach out and just get out there. But I think a good starting place would probably just be Advantage Stockton. Again, you could find data, contact information, you know, and the resource guide to kind of see, what might be needed to start a business here in Stockton.
Wonderful. So, good starting place. And can you tell, in your opinion, what makes small businesses such an important part of our community and a great kind of driver of economic development?
Um, I think just small businesses in general, they are the ones who, like again, they're like our neighbors, you know what I mean? It's like our family members who have had like a dream and they've put everything into it. And I think that really speaks to the character of the people that live here. Um, the people who have like a vision and the determination and just like the perseverance to keep going. Um, and so I don't know, I think just in general, that's why the video was really good because we had people talking about that, just about how I could probably do this wherever, but I want to do this in Stockton. I can't see myself doing it anywhere but here. And so I think having that too as like the basis, your motivation to keep going, I think is really important as a business owner. And so um, yeah, just having like a supportive community, just having that drive, and just having that, I think it speaks to like just their willingness to keep going, and then everyone, I don't know, it's just like contagious, you know what I mean? Like yeah. So small businesses, I think, are really just important to the overall fabric of our community.
100%. Yeah, it is really motivating to have someone like that in the community. You see them, they're, being successful, they're coming every day, making whatever product that they're making or providing whatever service. And you really want to support them, and it makes you want to visit their business and buy from them, support locally because you see who they are and they're, right here from where you are.
Right.
Very, very cool. So downtown Stockton, as you know, is full of small businesses. Full of small businesses. We love them. And can you share maybe a few of your favorite downtown Stockton retail spots? Mother's Day is coming up. People might want to be shopping.
I can't. um, I mean, in general, I do go to the Courthouse Plaza. They have like, spots there. You could buy like little tchotchkes and stuff, like crystals, earrings, cards. We go there too. Um, do go to Edible Arrangements. I probably need to place my order for Sunday, but definitely go there. Um, and just just in general, like going to the movies. It's a great spot down here. Because after the movies, you could just go to Masaki's or like the Fed or something before or after the movies and just hang out for a little bit. So everything's, it's kind of, they have stuff close by. And then, I know it's not retail, but the Children's Museum, I take my daughter there. I think it's only $7 entry, but, that's a really great place to here in downtown. So yeah, those are probably my go-tos most of the time.
Awesome, loved it, and you answered my lunch spot question already.
Oh,
So you gave a shout out to Misaki's, the Fed, good ones. Yeah, and
I have a
personally,
lot.
yeah, I have a soft spot for the Children's Museum too. That
Yes,
was
love it
somewhere.
there.
Yeah, it's like I visited as a child, and to this day, I'm like, oh, that place is so cool. uh, awesome. Okay, so thank you for giving shout outs to our downtown Stockton businesses. And now I just want to ask one question, which is a little different from what we've talked about so far. Can you share any information regarding the latest RFP for a downtown Stockton master plan? Because that's really exciting. Can you tell us what you know about it and kind of what's the goal there?
Um, well, so the city actually, so we'll be moving out of Historic City Hall, um, into the two office built waterfront towers by the waterfront warehouse. So, just trying to be kind of creative about how that space could be used. In the past there was an idea potentially rehabilitating it into something. But basically, I think it's a combination of things. So we have that space kind of like opening up, but also it's just in general, how can we support housing in downtown? We have these really great historic buildings, like way back in the early 1900s. This was kind of, I mean, this was like the core of the community, right? Like there's a whole bunch of office buildings. This is where like department stores, offices, that's where they were operating before, we kind of had this sprawl development. But anyways, it's like how can we support housing production in downtown and use these spaces and kind of create like a walkable community here in downtown. We have a whole bunch of jobs down here. We have great restaurants, we have stores, um, barbershops, stuff like that. And so how do we get that population to like also stay here? Um, and so yeah, we do have a downtown master slash visioning plan, RFP that's open. So proposals are due June 5th, but yeah, we're just looking for someone to kind of kind of help us with that overall vision with how can we use these assets that will become available, but then also support housing and then just really leverage the assets that we have here, the movie theater, the civic auditorium, the library, like we have things, we have the infrastructure, I think, like for a community, but it's like how do we create that overall vision and support development, or help guide development to create that vision and come to life.
Wonderful. Here at the DSA, that's something we are always advocating for is more housing. So it's just going to be interesting to see, what the results will be from this plan and to see how it will be executed. We want to see that growth. We want to see people living here. 24-hour downtown is what we're always going for. So very exciting that you guys have that out right now. Okay, so we're wrapping up to the end of my questions, and I would like to just say, can you please remind everyone where they can learn more about Stockton Small Business Week and what events are coming up?
Yeah, so we do have StocktonSmallBusinessWeek.com. That's where kind of like the registration information is, but if you want to stay updated, I would say probably the Instagram is the best place to go, which I think our handle is just Stockton Small Business Week. Um, but yeah, we do have, reminders for all of the events. We do provide links for registration, but um, we also have like a social media toolkit as well. So if you're a business, you have an Instagram account and kind of need help creating some content, we do have like some prompts, like maybe one day you could do some behind the scenes stuff for your business, kind of help create some content. Maybe for another day, you could just highlight like kind of what your journey was, what made you want to start your business. So we have those too. So feel free to download that, use it however you want. But yeah, those are also all available. If just go to our Instagram to stay updated, also tag us and we could share your story too. And then StocktonSmallBusinessWeek.com for registration information and things like that. But yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And how can people get in touch with you if they want to ask you questions about the Economic Development Department, the programs you talked about today, because you guys have some interesting grants and loans that people might want to take advantage of? How can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, sure. Email is probably best, but it's just my first name dot last name at stocktonca.gov.
Awesome. So there's the email right there for anyone watching or listening. Angelina.abella@stocktonca.gov. Awesome. Okay, so thank you, Angelina, for answering all of my questions.
Thank you.
So let's see if we have any audience questions or comments. And if you have any questions, now's the time. Type it right in. Okay. So you ready?
I think so.
Okay, good. Cool. All right. This is a question from Jewel on YouTube. The question is, okay, how can I connect with other local business owners or entrepreneurs? Ooh, good question.
Yeah, so we do have the mixer this Thursday. I know it's kind of last minute, but the chambers also host mixers as well. We have four very active chambers of commerce, and so I believe they alternate their mixers every week. So pretty much like, it's like I think the Greater Chamber has theirs the first Thursday, and then someone else has one on the second, and then the third, and then the fourth. So there are some opportunities to attend these mixers and just network with other businesses. So I would highly encourage that, and just yeah, just make those connections. So yeah, pretty much every Thursday there's a mixer.
That's great. That's great information. Yeah, and our chambers are awesome. So check out those chambers. They're wonderful resources. And it is so cool how they will collaborate together.
They
That's another cool
do.
thing too.
Yeah. Sometimes they'll even host like events, workshops for small businesses too. I think the Asian Chamber hosted a workshop about, wasn't it about like commercial leases or something. So, so yeah, just really, really great resource, all of the chambers.
Awesome. Thank you for the question, Jewel. Okay, and this is, okay, I answered this earlier, but this is for anyone wondering if there's a full schedule somewhere, this person wants to plan which events to go to. So
Yeah, for sure. So I would definitely say at least StocktonSmallBusinessWeek.com has like the full schedule kind of lined up more easily. Our Instagram has like some pictures here and there, but if you want to look at the full schedule, StocktonSmallBusinessWeek.com.
wonderful. Thank you. Okay, and then it looks like we've got just one comment, and this is from Mike Huber. He says, "Thank you, Angelina and EDD, for your ongoing partnership with the DSA."
Thank you guys. Really, I mean, you guys have been a great partner in like just even a lot of the programs too, and supporting efforts in downtown and stuff like that. And so we're gonna get this visioning plan and we're gonna make it happen.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Thank you, Mike. And thank you, Angelina. So before we close out, is there anything else that you want to share about Stockton Small Business Week 2025 or the work of the Economic Development Department?
I just if you're available, yeah, just check out some of the events. Again, we're here, all of us are here to help your business. And just everyone offers different things. So if you have time, just tune in, or just drop in to one of the events. Or again, we'll all be there tomorrow at the mixer. So please feel free to drop in, and you can ask us anything you want. And then yeah, just if you want to stay updated, at least with our department, you could follow us on Instagram, city underscore of underscore Stockton. That's kind of where we announce kind of what's going on, with on Instagram. And then we also have a newsletter. I don't know. I think there might be a link on Advantage Stockton to sign up for the newsletter, but yeah, if you want to get some emails, if we have new like grants and stuff that are opening, or events that are happening, we usually send e-blasts. So yeah, if you want to stay updated, sign up for our newsletter and follow us on Instagram.
And can you provide that handle again one more time for the Instagram?
Oh, it's just city underscore of underscore Stockton.
Perfect. Okay, so I'll put it up there for everyone to see. All right. So thank you, Angelina, for answering all of my questions about Stockton Small Business Week and about some of the resources that you guys have over there at the City Department for small businesses. I hope that everyone listening learned a lot. There are grants and loans available. There are just tools available that can help you, whether you're thinking of starting a business, whether you're in business now, and you're looking to grow. There are things out there for you. So please take advantage of these resources and attend all of the wonderful Stockton Small Business Week events. So thank you, Angelina, for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And look forward to continue working with you in the future. And so thanks everyone for tuning in. Thank you, Angelina, for all the information and the work that you guys are doing. It's just awesome. And with that, I will say, this video has been streaming live to LinkedIn and YouTube, where we are at Downtown Stockton. It looks like we had a little bit of trouble with the Facebook link, but we'll be sharing this there so that people can still access it. And with that, I would just like to say thanks, everybody, and have a great day downtown.